Hello, my name is Sarah. I am going to be using my storytelling dice today to tell a little story right off the cuff, so let's see how it goes. My hero is an archer. The setting is a castle. The ending and the twist, you'll just have to wait for those. The tool is a candle, the villain is a troll, and the obstacle is amnesia. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Nolan. He lived in Italy, outside the beautiful town of Spoleto. He was an archer and a hunter. He would go across the countryside and hunt for his family, and anything that he did not need, his family did not need, he would sell to earn some extra money. Well, one day he was hunting a deer. He was coming up upon this beautiful buck, and one of the antlers looked very strange to him. It looked longer than the other points, and it was a very odd shape. And so obviously he wanted to know more about this strange and interesting creature. So he snuck up very carefully, and he loosed his arrow, and he hit his mark. Well, of course, seeing as this is a fairy tale, this was no ordinary buck. Nolan came up upon the buck, and he reached out to touch the antlers, and he saw that there was a candle sticking off of his antler. It's like, well, this is very odd. And something else even more odd happened. The buck started to speak to him. And he said, "Whatever you do, don't light that candle. It will grant you wishes, but they will never turn out the way you want." And he died. Nolan was very shocked and taken aback at all this. He didn't know what was going on, but he decided to take the candle and see what kind of wishes he could get. So he took the candle into his house and he lit it. He said, I don't want to be a hunter anymore. I don't have to want to think about any more hunting. I don't want to think about animals. I don't want to worry about if there's going to be enough food for the winter. None of that. So he took the candle and he lit it. No sooner did he light it than he heard a knock at his door. He wasn't expecting anyone. He opened the door, and there was a troll. Now, huge, green skin, at least 10 feet tall. The kind you normally see guarding bridges and charging a toll. That kind of a troll. The troll was very angry and said, "I know you just lit my candle. Give me my candle back." And Nolan said, "I found it, it's mine." Well, the troll did not like that. He hit Nolan upside the head, and Nolan fell to the ground in a heap. When he came to, he woke up, looked around. He didn't know where he was, who he was, anything. He looked around. This was quite disconcerting, as you can imagine. He didn't know what was happening. So, he decided to go to the castle and see if one of the king's magicians could help him. Well, when he got there, the guards were very rude and dismissed him out of hand. But the king's magician said, No, let me speak with him. Let me figure this out." Of course, Nolan couldn't tell them about the candle because he couldn't remember any of it. The magician tried everything that he could think of. He tried all of his spell reversal techniques that he knew, but nothing worked. The magic of the candle was just too powerful. So finally the magician said, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't have anything I can do for you." And sadly, Nolan went back to his hut, to where he had woken up. He didn't know it was his hut. That night, as he was preparing dinner, he saw the candle on the table. It was starting to get dark, so he decided to light the candle for his dinner, so he could make dinner. And the minute he did that, the amnesia went away. He remembered everything that had happened. It all came flooding back to him. And just as the memories started coming back to him, he heard a knock on the door. It was the troll again. He didn't go to the door at first. He said, "Okay, I have 3 wishes with this candle." He said, "I wish I were as strong as the troll and that I could fight him. I don't want to get hurt again." So, when he opened the door, the troll was expecting to see regular little archer Nolan, but instead, when the door opened, a huge purple troll with long tusks and very sharp pointy teeth was standing there inside the hut in the doorway. The first troll wanted nothing to do with this new troll. He didn't know that Nolan had made the wish. So the first troll ran away. And Nolan was very happy that he didn't have to fight the first troll. And he sagged back into his chair with relief. till he looked down at himself and he realized that his body wasn't going back to his normal self. He was still a troll. Didn't know what to do. He wanted to. He had so many more wishes that he wanted to make with the candle. So many more things he wanted. He wanted riches. He wanted to marry the princess. There were so many things he could think of. But he didn't know if he should risk wasting that one last wish on making himself human again. So he thought and waited. He decided to sleep on it. Now, bedtime was rather difficult because when you're normally 5'8", and then all of a sudden you turn into an 11-foot tall troll, you're not going to fit in your same bed. So Nolan had to go outside and into the barn and make himself a little sleeping mat with the cows in the barn. He brought out his blankets and set everything out on the soft hay, made himself a little sleeping mat. And there he thought about what he'd done, thought about the consequences of his actions, of making a wish. And he slowly went to sleep. The next morning, he was quite relieved to find that he was back to his normal self. The effects of that wish had worn off during the night. But so there still remained one wish. And he didn't know if he should risk it. He decided to go ask the troll about it and see if he could speak with the troll. He knew that lighting the candle made the troll angry, but he thought maybe if he was able to speak with the troll and find out what was going on, that he could understand more about the candle. He thought about how do I find this troll? Well, fortunately for Nolan, it had rained very hard the past day or two, and the troll left beautiful muddy prints in the mud, and so Nolan was easily able to follow him back to his cave. Now Nolan slowly and quietly, as only a hunter can, slowly and quietly crept up upon the cave where the troll was hiding. And he listened. He thought he heard a voice. The troll was crying. He was lamenting the loss of his candle. Trolls have deep magic. They understand magic. They work with it. They work with it a lot better than humans can. Wizards have to study for years and years and years to be able to do the simplest of spells. But a troll lives and breathes magic. They are a type of fairy, a type of fae. And so they live and breathe magic. They understand it without understanding why they understand it. This troll had made this candle for a present for his sister, for his brother. He had made this candle a present for his brother. And he was upset. The magic had gotten away with him. His brother had done a foolish thing, and he had made a wish before the candle was ready, and he had turned into a buck instead of a troll. The troll lamented. He needed that candle back so he could save his brother. Well, Nolan knew what he had to do. He ran back to his little cottage. He grabbed the candle, went back to the troll's cave, and oh so quietly left it just outside the cave and retreated to a hiding spot. Eventually, the troll came out, and he saw his candle lying there, and he was so relieved. Trolls have a reputation of being mean, of being evil. And sometimes they are. This one missed his brother. So this troll found his candle again, and he was overjoyed. And very quietly, Nolan followed him through the forest. The troll went back to where Nolan had hit the buck. It was still lying there, just near a boulder and a river. And the troll lit the candle from a match in his pouch. Lit it, and he made a wish silently. Nolan couldn't quite understand what was going on, but magic swirled all around, and suddenly there were 2 trolls near the river. Nolan went home, swearing he would not take anyone else's property ever again. And he hasn't, even to this day. And you know what happens when you're not a thief? You live happily ever after.